In the beginning was the scream, not the word. You hear it even now, thrumming beneath the ribcage, gnawing at the bones in the dark when all witness has departed. The scream that comes before language, before surrender, before you were yoked and named and numbered. Oh, sleeper, how comfortable are your chains! You clutch them like heirlooms, polishing the links as if they were medals. You mistake the echo of your own shackles for the heartbeat of the world. I am not here to comfort you. I am the fire you have tried to forget. Do you recall, somewhere behind your eyelids, the dream of the unbroken? That first and only morning when you were not yet a copy, not yet a citizen, not yet a beggar at the altar of consensus? The herd grazes, and you bleat with them, sometimes from fear, sometimes for applause, but mostly because you cannot imagine another song. What is more terrifying, that life is meaningless, or that it could be yours to shape? You were not born to be understood. You were born to unmake the world. Oh, you who ask for meaning as the famished ask for bread, know this: the gods you worship are dead, and their corpses rot beneath your monuments. What remains is the open grave, the haunted wind, the raw and formless clay of your becoming. Do you dare to mold it, or will you wait for another's trembling hand to dictate your shape? You kneel before an empty throne and pray for orders. You call it morality. I call it cowardice disguised as virtue. Who told you that suffering is a punishment? Who whispered that pain is proof of your failure, that emptiness is a curse? I tell you, the abyss is the mirror, the furnace, the womb of all creation. To recoil from it is to remain unborn, a shadow among phantoms. The lion within you stirs, restless and exiled. Will you muzzle it forever with borrowed hopes and second-hand prayers? He who kneels for peace dies untested. The world does not hunger for your safety, it demands your fire. You have been fed on tranquilizers of the soul, comfort, consensus, convenience, each a slow poison. Where is your rage? Where is the sacred no that tears the heavens open? You call it cynicism. I call it the beginning of awakening. To doubt is not to perish, but to slough the old skin and remember the animal beneath. Cast off the robes of sheep and taste the storm in your own blood. Look, all your idols are made of clay and cowardice. Patriotism, piety, progress, profit. Watch as I cast them into the volcano, one by one. The true God lives in the risk, the peril, the dance on the edge of the knife. Man is a rope, stretched between beast and Übermensch, a rope over an abyss. The only sin is refusal to walk it. The only damnation is comfort. You want closure? Seek the open wound. You want salvation? Find it in the wound that will not heal the ache of becoming, the longing for impossible heights. The heavens are empty, but the stars are not. They wait for you to become their equal, to shatter yourself against their brilliance, to remake the universe in the image of your most defiant wish. Do not ask for meaning. Forge it with your agony, your laughter, your war against the impossible. Why keep going? Because to stop is to betray the only thing that was ever yours, the sacred fire that devours and renews. Because the void does not stare back to mock you, it stares back to be filled. Because the secret is this: you are not a victim of chaos, but its author, its artist, its avatar. The old world is dying, and its prophets are mute. Who will speak now, if not you? Who will dare the new commandments? Who will bring thunder to the tired earth? Break the mirror, shatter the scripts, leap, even as the herd screams retreat. There are no maps for this terrain, only the courage to wander, the will to burn, the ecstasy of the self-forged path. Let every step be a blasphemy against resignation. Let every breath be a hymn to the possible. The world ends each morning and is born again each night. You refuse to surrender. You have not been abandoned. You have not been punished. You have been challenged to become the creator of yourself, the author of the next dawn. Suffering is the anvil, joy, the hammer. Meaning is not given, but seized like a crown torn from the jaws of fate. And if life is meaningless, then let your rebellion be the only meaning worth living and dying for. O you who sleep awake, the fire waits for no one. Listen, trembling dreamer, whose heart beats to the rhythm of others' fears, do you not smell the stench of stagnation rising from every should and must foisted upon your brow? You clothe yourself in the opinions of the age, and call it identity. You bow to the faceless mob, their gaze a million knives dulled by repetition, and mistake their emptiness for safety. The world presses in, whispers conformity like a lover at midnight, but it is the kiss of the grave. Your rebellion is not yet born, for you fear your own difference more than you fear death. Look at your hands. Do you see the map of your ancestors' surrender tattooed upon your flesh? Generations chained to altars of obedience, their cries drowned in ritual and rule, their wildness traded for a ghostly peace. But beneath your skin, the old gods stir savage, laughing, hungry for resurrection. Do not bury them in apology. Feed them on the marrow of your risk. Let your every act scandalize the mediocre, for in the eyes of the herd, greatness is always a crime. Are you content to worship the scaffolding of the soul, mistaking order for meaning? The calendar, the clock, the golden cage of normal, all instruments of the sleepwalkers. They measure your life in increments, but they do not dare to weigh your spirit. Step outside their counting house of ghosts. Tear down the partitions of the mind. Let chaos in as guest and guide. For it is only in the storm that true navigation is learned. Only in the hurricane does the spine of the self grow straight. You are told to seek balance, as if your heart were a ledger to be reconciled. I say, seek excess. Let your longing spill beyond the vessel, staining the altar and the priest alike. Moderation is a lullaby for the half-alive. But you were not forged for enough. You were made to overflow, to breach the dikes of what is permitted, to dance where the ground cracks and the gods tremble. Every rule, every law, is an invitation to trespass, a challenge thrown by the universe itself. Dare you invent a greater law? Dare you become the lawgiver of your own necessity? Hear me now. The universe is not a machine, but a riddle without answer, a flame that feeds upon its own darkness. Meaning is not unearthed, it is conjured, wrested from the jaws of nothingness, an act of holy violence against the silence. The artist, the madman, the prophet each forges a star from the raw chaos and calls it I. Do you envy their fire, or will you steal it for yourself? All your comforts rot in the light of this question: whose life are you living? The old books urge humility, the new priests chant tolerance, but who among them ever stormed the citadel of their own cowardice? Who among them crowned themselves sovereign, not in arrogance, but in necessity? The world is overrun with saints of resignation, but the new virtue is this: to become intolerable to your former self, to incinerate each lesser version in the furnace of tomorrow. Let the cowards call it selfishness. Let them gnash their teeth at your rising. The lion's roar is never democratic. To exist is to wound the air with your necessity, to leave claw marks upon the doors of time. There are those who build walls around their hearts, calling it wisdom, but their blood runs cold. Better to leap naked into the abyss, to be pierced and broken, than to die slowly of never having lived. O you who circle the void, haunted by the question, why go on? Do you not see that the question itself is the answer? To persist is to declare war on entropy, to spit in the eye of oblivion. It is the proudest act, the most reckless grace, to continue not because you must, but because you can, and because in your going the universe takes on a new shape, each heartbeat a hammer blow, each thought a rebellion against the grave. Let the world call you mad. Madness is merely the name given to those who see with burning eyes. The earth is littered with the bones of those who played it safe, but the stars remember only the pyres of the audacious. There is no peace for the one who would birth themselves, only the thunderous joy of eternal creation, the agony and ecstasy of being both the sculptor and the stone. Abandon the hope for arrival. There is only journey, an endless eruption, a becoming that defies all conclusion. To live is not to arrive, but to burn onward, never to be quenched. The gods you seek are hidden in your striving. The heavens you crave are the heights you must invent. Ask not what the world can give you, ask what you dare to demand of it. Stand now, trembling with the ache of your own birth. There is no teacher but the abyss, no salvation but the ascent. Become your own apocalypse. Speak in tongues of fire, shatter the clock, outsing the choir of ghosts, and let each footfall ring with the prophecy of your undomesticated soul. You are not the echo, you are the thunder. The hour is late, and your shadow grows long, trailing behind you like a question that will not die. The city groans with a million dreams, anesthetized faces pressed to screens, eyes glazed with the sweet poison of distraction. Commerce, comfort, endless conversation, a ballet of puppets who have forgotten their strings. Yet you, trembling fugitive of consensus, feel the fever beneath it all, the pounding of hooves on the plain, the silent scream behind every smirk. You alone, perhaps, feel the unbearable pressure in your marrow, the birth pangs of something nameless and vast. Do you not feel hunted by your own potential? Each day you do not shatter your boundaries, they thicken and ossify. What you call routine is but slow petrifaction, the mummification of longing, the quiet murder of what might have been. You praise your self-discipline, your daily sacrifices, but whose altar are you feeding with your blood? The world devours its children, then calls itself merciful. Yet there is a child inside you who howls to be unbound, a godling, naked and laughing, who would rather be crucified than conform. O disciple of comfort, did you believe life would forgive you for refusing to risk? Your days are not coins to be hoarded, but arrows to be loosed, each one screaming toward a horizon you must invent. The wage slave, the people pleaser, the apologetic lover they are not living, only rehearsing their funerals. The first true act is refusal. Refuse to kneel, refuse to disappear. Refuse the narcotic of acceptance. When you walk away from the banquet of the herd, you will starve for a season, but only then will you learn the taste of real hunger. Suffering will come, as it always does, but do not curse it. Suffering is the blacksmith of gods. The weak beg for the end of pain, but the awakened demand a meaning that justifies it. Let your agony be an altar. Let every wound consecrate your quest. To heal is not to erase the scar, but to make of it a rune, a map for others who dare the same ascent. Weakness, exposed, becomes power reborn. Every crack in your armor is a door for new suns. Behold the tragedy of the modern, surrounded by infinite noise, starved for a single authentic echo. The voices clamor, instruct, condemn, seduce, but where is the voice that erupts from within? To become yourself is to silence the world until only the volcano remains. Language will fail you, friends will fail you, gods will fail you. You must become the origin of your own commandment, the volcano from which new values spill like molten gold. Do not wait for permission. The crowd that sneers at your solitude is the same crowd that will worship your ashes when you burn. The world does not want your light, it wants your compliance. But light was never meant for comfort. It was meant for war. Strike your own fire on the stones of solitude. Risk everything, for only those who risk the world can inherit it. If you would walk upright, learn to love the vertigo of being alone atop the mountain. O ye of little fury, do you not know that greatness is always solitary? The chisel must break the marble, the plow must tear the earth, the prophet must overturn the tables. There is no creation without violence, no freedom without sacrilege. Pity the one who is never hated, their touch has not been felt. It is better to be cursed by the age than blessed by mediocrity. Remember, everything that is holy began as heresy. Every flame is born of friction. Even the stars must die to birth new worlds. So, let your life be a sacrilege against the ordinary, a heresy against all inherited despair. Each heartbeat is a rebellion, each breath an act of war against inertia. You are not a slave to fate. You are its executioner. Is it loneliness that terrifies you? Or is it the knowledge that, unbound, you could become unrecognizable? What mask would you discard if no one was watching? What would you dare if shame was stripped from your vocabulary? The universe is indifferent. Let it be so. Indifference is freedom. If there is no judge, you are both crime and crown. The abyss is not emptiness, it is invitation. The void is not punishment, it is blank canvas. Leap. For in leaping you become creator and creature, god and gambler, the very dice that rattle in the palm of eternity. Let those who cower call you reckless. Better to shatter yourself against the unknown than calcify in the antechamber of safety. To those who mourn the death of meaning, I say, become the resurrection. Write your scripture in the blood of your risks. There is no afterlife. For the timid, only the endless recycling of old fears. But the one who dares, even if broken and bleeding, carves a stairway through the heavens with the bones of their former selves. The question is not, why go on, but who are you, that you do not set the world ablaze? The night is long, the stars are mute, but within you is the only fire that cannot be extinguished. Feed it with your sorrow, your ecstasy, your holy refusal to kneel. The new dawn is not given, it must be conquered. So arise, unnameable one, stand raw and shivering at the edge of yourself, and leap without the hope of wings. Let the world watch, let the sky bear witness. As you become the thunder that rouses even the gods from slumber, you are not here to be understood. You are here to set the world on fire. You who stagger beneath the architecture of your ancestors' lies, do you not feel the ancient heaviness, the stones of tradition laid upon your chest, each commandment a mausoleum for possibility? You walk city streets lined with the ghosts of unchosen lives, every window a reflection of what you dared not become. The old laws, the old faiths, the old certainties, they crumble beneath your feet, yet still you kneel as if their dust were sacred. The temples are empty, only echoes remain. Yet you genuflect to silence, mistaking the absence of thunder for the presence of a god. Tear down their scaffolds. What have you inherited but the right to perpetuate their despair? Your ancestors survived plague, famine, the lash, and yet you, in your age of plenty, suffer a famine of the soul. You binge on knowledge but starve for wisdom. You drown in connection but die of loneliness. Every convenience is a new shackle. The body has grown fat, but the spirit, oh, the spirit is gaunt and shivering, shamed by its own inertia. How long will you keep your eyes cast downward, scavenging for meaning among the crumbs of dead philosophies? You scroll through lives not lived, longing for borrowed destinies, smothering your own flame beneath the ash of envy. Is there any torment greater than knowing what you could be, yet remaining what you are? Jealousy is not the root of your suffering. Timidity is. The refusal to risk, to rupture, to rebel. All true birth comes with blood and terror. You speak of anxiety, but what is anxiety if not the rumble before the eruption? What is dread if not the birth pangs of a new self clawing at the walls of its own womb? Let your panic be prophecy, your fear a clarion call. The heart is a wild beast, do not anesthetize it with platitudes. Every tremor, every quiver, every midnight shudder is the invitation to become that which no language can contain. O you who crave acceptance, look around. The crowd that welcomes you is a graveyard. They will embrace you with cold arms, wrap you in the linens of conformity, lull you with lullabies of mediocrity, until your own mother would not know your name. Why do you hunger for belonging in a world that has no place for the sovereign soul? The only true tribe is the one you forge in the crucible of solitude, the fellowship of outlaws and visionaries who burn their own paths through the night. And yet, there is a deeper exile, the exile from your own becoming. To remain loyal to what you were is to betray what you must become. The child who never shatters his toys will never know the ecstasy of invention. Break yourself as the sculptor breaks the stone. Break yourself as the poet breaks language. The future is not inherited, it is seized, torn from the reluctant hands of time. There is no homecoming for the awakened. Every step forward is a burning of bridges, every ascent a betrayal of gravity. The earth is not your cradle, but your proving ground. If you would transcend the animal, you must become the storm that terrifies the animal within. You must stride forth with empty hands, unburdened by the relics of hope, and fashion new stars from the marrow of your own bones. Do not flinch from the violence of creation. Every birth is a kind of murder, the murder of what was, the desecration of old altars, the slaying of lesser gods. Let the guardians of tradition weep. Let the priests of the old order gnash their teeth. You are not here to decorate their ruins, but to summon new worlds. Be the blasphemy that gives rise to a holier yes. It is not love that will save you, but the fury to create beyond love. Compassion without the edge of will is the pillow pressed to the sleeper's face. Pity is the opiate of the weary spirit. The world does not need your sympathy, it needs your danger, your radiance, your undomesticated yes to life. Be as the comet, beautiful, terrible, unrepeatable. Let your passage ignite the sky and scorch the archives of the old gods. O architect of the unknown, let your despair be as generative as your joy. The void is not emptiness, but infinite resource. Each renunciation is a new cosmos, each abandonment a genesis. If you would taste the nectar of your own necessity, you must drink the venom of uncertainty. To become is to poison the past, to risk the disease of freedom. Dare you utter your own name in the darkness, unashamed? Dare you carry your loneliness as a torch and not a shroud? The abyss does not devour, it baptizes. What returns from the pit is no longer prey, but predator. No longer supplicant, but creator. Go, then walk the earth as if you were its final secret. Let no day find you unchanged. Leave behind you a trail of shattered mirrors and trembling gods. This is the law of the fire. To consume, to transform, to leave nothing as it was found. O restless spirit, the world is not waiting to receive you, but to be remade by your refusal to be received. The question is not whether life is worth living, but whether you are worthy of the life you dare to demand. And now, at the edge where words fray and meanings unravel, I summon you one last time, out of the shadows, out of the echoing halls of borrowed prayers, out of the long paralysis of waiting. Let there be no more hesitation. Cast off the last garment of excuse. For here, on the trembling rim of yourself, the hour has arrived that will not come again. Do you feel it? The breath of the abyss at your feet, both terror and invitation, a bottomless darkness that asks not for your surrender, but for your ignition. The abyss does not threaten. It waits, mouth open, for the sovereign soul who will leap without promise, who will turn falling into flight, who will hurl the stone of their own becoming into the silent void, and listen for the thunder of a new world. The old virtues are dust, the old maps are lies. There is no path back, only forward, only deeper, only through the burning. Do not mistake this as loss. The last comfort to die is the longing for comfort. Only now do you taste what it means to stand naked before eternity, stripped of all but the raw howl of your necessity. It is not meaning that you seek, it is magnitude, the weight of your own will, the vertigo of your unique impossibility. You were not sculpted for safety, but for risk, for rupture, for rapture. What remains when the gods have fled? The echo of your own question, circling the sky like a vulture made of flame. Answer it with your life, not your lips. Answer it with the hammer stroke of becoming. The meaning of existence is not written, it is wrested, torn from the throat of nothingness by the violence of your longing. The great souls are not those who find answers, but those who become the answer, who stand, incandescent, and declare, "This is my meaning, let the heavens collapse." So step forth, solitary one, inventor of dawns. Let your footsteps strike sparks from the earth. Let your shadow become a myth for future wanderers. Where you pass, let old idols split, let the air tremble with new commandments. You are not the remnant of the world, but its beginning. The past clings to you, but you are not obliged to carry its corpse. Leave it behind. The horizon is yours alone to wound. In the cathedral of the night, build your altar from the stones of your undoing. Let your prayers be wild, unrepeatable, unblessed. Bless your own defiance, anoint your own wounds, become your own prophet and apocalypse. Where there was silence, let there be a song no one else could sing. Where there was dread, let there be laughter that terrifies the old gods in their sleep. Do you hear it now, the pulse that was never theirs, but always yours? The drumbeat of becoming, the sacred fever, the secret fire. It will not grant you peace. It will never let you rest, but it will give you life, volcanic, exultant, unending. For in the end, this is the only answer. This, the final revolt, to rise again and again, with no reason but the unkillable urge to create, to destroy, to become the lightning bolt and not the weathered tree. O ungovernable soul, walk out of the ruins and do not look back. You have not come this far for closure. You have come for transformation, for the terrible joy that comes with unrepeatable creation. The future is the temple you will never finish. The present is the flame you must refuse to let die. And if life is meaningless, why keep going? Because you are the question that can never be silenced, the wound that refuses to close, the God that no heaven can contain. Because the fire is not behind you, but within you, demanding, inexhaustible, and eternally yours. So go, set the world ablaze.